What's going on, Vigilante World? It's your guy Spec, and we back with another video. First things first, I want to give a shout out to all my viewers, subscribers, and Patreon supporters for making this a home to catch some content before you make a purchase. Big shout out to BCA for sponsoring the channel, allowing me to feed my firearms to bring you content. Be sure to click on the link in the description and use the channel code to rack up some rounds. For all my parts junkies out there, definitely make sure to check in with the link below to receive parts lists and newsletters. In today's video, we're actually going to be talking about me going out to meet with my partners in the 2A community, BCA. That's Buffalo Creek Ammo. I decided to definitely go and meet up with the team so I can make sure to definitely just build some rapport with the people that I'm actually working with, but also kind of know more about, you know, the ammo and stuff that they're going to be supplying to me. That's always one thing, at least for me. I love kind of knowing the ins and outs of the little things, and that's kind of one thing that I appreciated even out of this trip. Before we get too deep into that though, let me just explain one thing. Traveling with a firearm is definitely one of the easiest things. Definitely if you're in the South and you've done all of your research on reciprocity and all those sorts of things to make sure you are safe and legally able to, you know, take your firearms to whatever state that you're gonna, you know, cross the border of. At the end of the day, it is the smoothest process as long as you do everything right. Just make sure that you have the proper case, the proper locks, and honestly, go and make sure you're upfront about declaring your firearm. And it ends up being the easiest process ever. At least in my experience, that's the only thing that I ended up doing. I made sure to use the good old nifty green Spec civilian case. That way I can go ahead and make sure, for one, I can take the channel with me. For me, since I'm definitely training with my Shadow 2 right now, I wanted to go ahead and bring out my CZ Shadow 2. And of course, I didn't get to take the compact model because I have something much better for y'all a little bit later for that. But I was able to take my CZ P01, definitely to just kind of play around with that. I was thinking about doing a little bit of a parts adjustment and stuff for, you know, part of the BCA team, but it ended up just working out to where I kind of was able to like deliver some parts. So it ended up being super cool where I was able to go out and still be able to test both guns with the ammo that was supplied there. And it was super fun to just being able to definitely use those guns and see kind of how everything was functioning. Doing a little bit of work on both of them, it just allows me to be able to see just how much reliability I get out of both of these guns when you really kind of know exactly what to expect from the ammo. And that's kind of one of the best things about me taking these guns out there. I have a bunch of competition footage for y'all that I'm going to be able to explain a little bit later. And for me, being able to go out and have this experience where I can really know more about the ins and outs of the ammo really makes it easier for me as someone who kind of tinkers with guns and stuff like that. So that way it's not just fancy. I actually want all of my models of guns to actually work. So that's kind of one of the best things about, again, taking this trip. Now, it was cool because I was able to meet up with BCA and specifically Cole from BCA, which it was amazing meeting up with Cole. He was a super cool guy. I'm telling you, offered amazing hospitality and honestly gave me a really cool invite to the nice old city that we were in Texas. Follow the IG at Buffalo Creek Ammo and make sure that you go check out their stuff. I'm telling you, it's not just me just talking about it. The stuff actually does what it needs to do. And that's one thing that I appreciated out of this. And honestly, Cole gave me so much more info on, you know, how he plans on scaling up the business as well, which is one thing that, again, I could appreciate. People who are always on the front line of innovation and making sure that they can continue growing with whatever product that they have. And so with this being specifically ammo, making sure that it can cater to, you know, military grade, competition, anything that's out there. So it is a more universal ammo. And he definitely dove in to a little bit more details on all of that stuff while we were out there chatting. And so I definitely appreciate that again. And on top of that, being able to meet up with some really, really cool people. A couple guys, Josh and Mike, definitely go follow these guys on IG. They're going to be down below. They offer training services to people, definitely if you're out in Texas. And honestly, they represent a really cool brand, Gritter, which I thought was kind of cool, being able to kind of see, you know, the link between BCA, Gritter, Texas, all that good stuff. We were able to link up, really have some fun. Even with the range day at ETTS was an amazing time. I'm telling you, first off, 80-yard range, still at the end. Can't get mad at that. Plus, they have everything you need as far as targets to set up exactly what you need to train anything that you need. So can't complain about that. On top of that, I was with some really fun shooters because as soon as I got there, Josh is just like, yo, let's run some pig. And I'm like, run pig? Okay. Just like horse? Yes, just like horse. And so we read it. Super fun warm up. I'm telling you, even with the last final shot, it got down to some fun stuff to where we were literally upside down on a barrel, one hand at 80, and then flip the gun upside down to make sure we could actually end off the whole game. And it was just super fun just kind of playing around, definitely seeing that we can tap 80 yards still and know for a fact we can still have some fun. So I appreciated all the challenges that, you know, those guys were definitely throwing at me, definitely from the jump. And then we got into all of the cool competition trials as far as, you know, classifying in general. That way, whenever we're on any stage, we know for a fact it's super easy to work on those transitions. It's super easy to, you know, understand the process of the stage before even going out there, so it's not so mind-boggling, because I've definitely experienced that with running USPSA, which I'm definitely going to get into later. But it's a thing whenever that timer beeps. It is a different thing when you have that time pressure. And so just alleviating that time pressure and really getting these trials in, and somebody like Josh and Mike, who were definitely competitive as it is, it made it super fun because we were able to get into a bunch of other really cool drills. Now, most of the drills are comp stock, definitely because we're out there with still, but it still makes more sense because all of the classifiers most times are pretty much comp stock or, you know, Virginia count. And so at the end of the day, we know for a fact we're doing everything within the means to still practice on the little things as far as classifiers goes, but on top of that, still being able to work on all the other things as far as, you know, speed, reloading, and making sure we can still process the stage, even if we switched up some of the little things, because we went from double taps, triple taps, all the way from, you know, moving and reloads. But most of the stuff that we were doing from time was a little bit closer. Even being able to kind of work on double taps and splits, that way we can make sure, again, not only are our guns working, but we are out there, you know, making sure we can hone in on what exactly we need to do once that beeper goes off. I know I was able to get some really cool draw practice in with being able to draw and hit right on point. I was able to at least hit a split that was 1.3, and then it was like 0.0, it was like 0.016. It was super cool being able to, like, you know, hear exactly what the splits were. But not only that, knowing for a fact I could still have some fun, definitely with still at about 30 yards to about 80 yards. And so I didn't have to worry about, you know, anything as far as like recoil goes. As long as you definitely aim with the gun right, grip the gun nice, you know for a fact you're going to be able to hit anyways. I talk about that in plenty of other like actual videos that I go over ergonomics and things like that. Point this thing straight, definitely for a shadow too. For me, I know for a fact I typically try to group at 60, and so that's what kind of made it a little bit easier for me to still adjust to about that 20-yard difference. Now, since right now I'm definitely using my shadow 2 in all of the matches that I really go to, I decided to go ahead and mainly train with that gun. So even when we were running all of the kind of match trials, that was the main one that we were doing. So even when I worked on triple taps and grouping, I knew for a fact I could triple tap, maybe ring some still, reload, and keep it going. Or even being able to just, you know, double tap, hear some still, reload, and keep it going. That way, I know for a fact with the gun that I'm going to be using and mainly classifying with, it's nothing once I really do hear that beeper when I'm actually on the match stage. That way, again, it's easier for me to just think about shooting and having fun and still being able to classify at the highest level possible. There's no pressure, it's all fun. Now, of course, with Cole being there, he wanted to make sure everything was working well. So it was really cool actually being able to dive into some of the primer testing as well. Definitely so we can know, again, anytime, you know, somebody uses a gun, it can be as universal as possible, and they know for a fact they can feed BCA and it's gonna work. So it was kind of really cool seeing, you know, Cole being able to experiment with all of the ammo and know for a fact it really works and you don't really have to worry about anything. Even for myself, I was able to go ahead and throw out some mag dumps at about 30 yards, have some real good fun, and know for a fact everything is gonna work for me. That way I know for a fact when I'm in an actual stage, time is the main thing that I'm worried about, not my gun. And that was what was the really cool experience about being out here, being able to know for a fact anytime I do get some ammo, it's gonna work with my main gun that I'm gonna be using anyways. Now, that guy that you're in the background, that's one of my partners from Houston, does a bunch of really cool graphic work, actually helped me with a bunch of foundational work that was actually for the channel. So some of the logos that you actually see for the channel, he actually has done. We'll have much more coming to y'all. Be on the lookout for merch, be on the lookout for all of the things that we have to really scale up the channel and bring more of the vigilante world to you all. It was really cool just being able to just have an experience with the gang. Even Chris was able to pull up a little bit later, have some fun with us, which was super cool. Go follow him on IG. His stuff will be down below as well. Super cool guy. He definitely has some fun with some times as well. And honestly, I think added to the whole experience, just to be honest with you. And even then, the ETTS range was super amazing. All the parties that were out there, super cool guys. It was even cool to see, you know, people coming up asking about the BCA, wanting the BCA, because they knew for a fact it was going to be the stuff around the way that was going to work for them. So again, to everybody out there, this is going to be a great thing for the channel and a great thing for everyone as well. Go click on the link in the description, go grab you some ammo, rock it out, use the code, because truly it's the stuff I'm going to be using for all my competitions, and I know for a fact I'm going to be running well, definitely because being able to speak and have all the experience and have the knowledge to really know I want to tune my guns, but also communicate with the people that are giving me all this stuff allows me to know for a fact everything that I'm going to be able to have for y'all is going to be super proper, definitely from here on out, to where if you're following my journey to being a Grandmaster, definitely in limited optics, you're going to see how much fun we're going to have. And so definitely make sure to, again, click on the links below, make sure you keep up with the gang. All in all, it was a super amazing trip being able to definitely meet up with the whole gang. First off, they had me out there shooting one hand and offhand at 80 yards, upside down in a barrel, and definitely flipping my gun upside down. Super funky stuff just to meet up with the gang. Loved it immediately. But on top of that, we were able to get some really, really cool trials, making sure we can actually hone in on the skills that we really need to go out here and grow exactly everything that we need to do in this 2A community. Now, you know we were at ATTS having a real Texas range day because even your mans had a good old rifle out there, and it was too fun, I'm telling you. And everybody kind of had their rifles out there, definitely inspiring me and kind of motivating me to get into some 2-gun and 3-gun, things like that, which I believe I will be getting into here soon. But right now, I want to focus on one thing, which is going to be, you know, limited optics and even open maybe. That way I can kind of have a backup division, things like that. Definitely if you know about competition and stuff like that. But limited optics is going to be my main. So that's going to be the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on in order to GM. And then after that, I will go ahead and look into, you know, other divisions like 2-gun, 3-gun, and even maybe just running some open carry optics, all that good stuff as well. Because as y'all know, I have all these really cool carry builds and stuff like that, and I definitely will be putting them to the test. So definitely stay tuned for that, because it's not just about creating these firearms for me. And that's why I went ahead and took this trip as well, because I really wanted to have all the information to know, even when I'm building all of these, you know, guns and doing all of these little things to make sure it can fit me and how I shoot, definitely for competition or even carry, I can just have a little bit more know-how and make sure to minimize any issues that I could potentially have. Anybody out there that has a very similar quiver or anything like that can actually have some very similar information as well, and know for a fact it's the little things that matter. That way you don't have to have any problems a little bit later. So it was amazing to be able to go ahead and again grab that information, and definitely for someone who does all these little things to these guns. Not only that, it was cool being able to shoot a gun that is not mine, that somebody did, that's like an AR platform, because honestly Cole does very similar stuff that I do to pistols that he does to AR. So it was cool actually being able to have that experience, and even being able to see what Josh's was about. He had a very cool build that I was able to kind of test out and see kind of how that felt. Definitely have that nice crank scope on there. Super cool to just be out there shooting at ETTS. They offer a bunch of bays, and honestly I see myself going out there and even doing a couple matches just to see how fun that could be. So stay tuned for that. I know for a fact I'm going to be having some fun with a bunch of match stuff here soon, just because truly that's going to be my main thing in making sure not only, again, I'm making these guns and making them look beautiful and all that good stuff, but they work. So not only is it about aesthetics for me, I truly appreciate performance, and that's why I have to make sure, again, I know all of these things. That way I can train a little bit better for all of y'all, definitely everyone that's following the journey. And just know I appreciate all of y'all, like truly all the people that be in the comments. Man, I truly appreciate the information that y'all appreciate talking to me about and opening up about. That's all the stuff that I love, and just continue to do that, because that's the stuff that truly keeps the channel pumping. That's the stuff that allows me to continue to know, you know, what you guys want from me, what you guys like from me, what you guys don't like from me, all that good stuff. And so just know I appreciate all that stuff, and that's why I make these type of moves. That way we can make sure to, again, only continue to scale up and grow. And that's what I appreciate about, again, meeting with these people and being able to bring a little bit more to you all. Not only that, it was amazing being able to actually link with Cole and get so much more information, so I can confidently let you all know that whenever you click on that link and actually grab some of this ammo, it's actually gonna be something that's gonna be able to work for you, but not only that, be super reliable in the long run for anything that you do. Next time I head out there, I'll see if we can go ahead and get maybe a little bit more behind the scenes on the actual factory and stuff like that. That way y'all can have a little bit more insight on what that looks like. But even for now, what I can let you know is just seeing how Cole moves and seeing how the gang moves. I know for a fact this is going to be something that's super proper for y'all, and it was amazing to be able to meet up with them and truly be able to put in some work. Definitely look to make some moves here sooner than later. So if you did like this video, definitely make sure you smash that like button. If you have any comments or anything like that, definitely make sure you comment below. I love to hear what you guys have to think about, you know, BCA ammo, and not only that, ammo in general, and how that kind of works for you guys, and maybe what you would like to know more about ammo in general and how they work with guns. Definitely if you're somebody who likes to tinker with guns and how that may affect any type of ballistics, I'm telling you, having the information to know what you need to know specifically on your main gun that you're going to be using is mad proper. And I'm telling you, I can't complain about any of this stuff that I've definitely acquired while I was out there. Definitely make sure you subscribe. I got mad more content coming for y'all, and I believe I have mad more insight about other stuff coming for y'all as well. So definitely make sure to stay tuned. Other than that, all I gotta say is stay safe, get some ammo. Until next time, y'all.